Some of my viewers have pointed out that they didn't understand what felt to them like a leap of faith or a logical error, namely when I said that the non-dual viewpoint can lead to genocide. Sounds like I'm exaggerating. Maybe I am. I'm not actually aware of historical examples to corroborate this claim, unless one counts the epic story in the Mahabharata, which is partially about fratricide, with Arjuna killing his brother after having mystical visions of the oneness of the universe. Oh, and there are also sadhus that have promoted bloodshed. Practically, it doesn't help prevent killing someone to think that you and them are part of a unity. So, if followers of non-duality are not genocidal, it must be for other reasons, more likely to do with social norms against violence or with a non-violent, compassionate predisposition. But these may not happen as this Indian philosophy is imported to the West. I think anytime one does not see the human in front of them and instead reduces them to some abstraction, in the case of non-dualists, the abstraction is the fundamental oneness of the universe, then one's real but suppressed needs can make elimination of the human possible whenever the human's presence conflicts with one's needs. This is a subtle example of Carl Jung's shadow projection. In this case, the non-dualist shadow is the existence of one's own human needs, especially the need for intimacy and the needs for protecting oneself. These must be suppressed by all kinds of transcendental techniques, because if one had incoming boundary violations as a child, one is especially prone to not wanting to admit that one has a need for intimacy with others, because these needs were not met in childhood, and intimacy was associated with pain. And hence, these avoidant attachment folks are prime targets for non-duality memes. Suppressing the need to protect oneself from threats from others just makes them come out in other ways, which could potentially include hurting people who are showing or asserting their needs, especially if those needs conflict with one's own. It gives the avoidant non-dualist a sense of safety to think that they don't have needs, or that their needs are egoic, illusory, and that everything is just a peaceful ocean. Everything real is just a peaceful ocean. Note that there is no room for morality in the non-dualist viewpoint, which is that the fundamental nature of the universe is not about morality. Morality is a human construct, maya, illusion, duality of right and wrong. Even if they are right about the fundamental nature of reality, I think this is actually not how our universe works. Our universe seems to be an emergent rather than a reductive universe, especially when it comes to the evolution and nature of life. New properties appear at higher levels of organization that can't be reduced to any building blocks. Even if the universe is fundamentally consciousness, matter, space-time, a quantum field, or what have you, a human being can't be reduced to these things. The waves of the ocean can't be reduced to the ocean. How emergence happens is not totally worked out yet. My favorite theory, expounded on by Simon Deacon in his book Incomplete Nature, is that it has to do with constraints that limit the freedom of the lower level building blocks, yet paradoxically create new properties and behaviors at the higher levels. And also that one of life's basic irreducible properties is that organisms are open systems that need and strive for external inputs to complete their basic lack, whether it's food, warmth, connection to other beings, being able to go beyond the present and mundane into the past, future, or abstract. Here's an illustration of what I'm talking about. Yeah, just watch and see what you think.
The second statement I would have two couples make to each other as they get married is to look each other in the eye and to say to one another, I don't need you. So why do we have this underlying feeling that others are a threat to us. It is because we have an even deeper feeling that we are something that is objective, that can be destroyed, that can be threatened, that can either be diminished in relationship or aggrandized in relationship. And therefore we enter into relationships either seeking to aggrandize ourselves through the relationship, that's not what you're talking about, or to protect ourselves from being diminished. In your case, it's the latter. But in both these two movements, trying to aggrandize oneself through relationship or to protect oneself from being diminished, are really the same movement. And that is, it's a way that the separate self perpetuates itself. So at the heart of this feeling that you need to protect yourself against the hostile other is the belief that what you are is something small and limited and fragile, and that can be so easily hurt or upset or abused or mistreated, or you're none of those things. How could you abuse the empty space? What could you do to the empty space of this room to upset it or